What's going on, fishing buddies? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over exactly what you will have your hands on if you book a surf fishing guide or kayak fishing guide with Perdido Blaine Outfitters LLC. Let's get it out there! Alright guys, so I have everything set up with my surf fishing guides and the kayak fishing guides, everything that I would have out there as if I was running a guide today. I'm going to go over the gear, the equipment, the baits I'm using, everything that you can expect if you book a guide with me with either surf fishing or kayak fishing. I got away from using cheaper gear about a year ago. I was using cheaper setups with rods and reels and things like that because of the wear and tear basically. So I was buying like $30 rods. They would last 2 or 3 trips, guys, and they would break. So what was happening was I was constantly back up at the tackle shop buying more $30 rods. So I bit the bullet and I went all great gear. And when I say great gear, this is exactly what I'm using for personal fishing. It was a big investment. Working with some of these companies helped with the cost. So I work with a lot of companies basically for like product for promotion. I'll either get like discounted product, usually at cost, or even free gear. In return, I will promote their products on videos, Facebook, things like that. So that helped out a lot with upgrading everything. And when I said everything, I upgraded everything from the kayak fishing and the surf fishing. So I'm gonna go over all that today because that's important. Like if you're booking a guide with me, you can expect to get your hands on some quality gear, especially if you're looking to get into this thing or upgrading the equipment that you already have. You'll be able to basically test it out on the water. So the first thing that I will highlight is the Deerfield Fabrication and Welding Beach Cart. This originally was Fishing Mate Senior, so basically all that's left from that is this frame, and the rest is Deerfield upgrades. Everything from the tires, extra axles, the lift kit that gets this guy off the ground, the push bar handlebar, the sand spike holders here, and the diamond plate flooring. So everything fits on the beach cart, down to the beach. I'll show you what we'll be using. So what we will have in the sand holding the rods are again from Deerfield. These are custom made sand spikes from Deerfield. You guys can get these off the website. When I say custom made, I basically told him the specs that I want. Brian Sorrell is the owner and operator of Deerfield. Let him know what I wanted, basically that fits my needs, and he was able to put it together. So I'm running 4 of these 4-foot open face sand spikes, and they do have the foot peg on them, so it's easier to get in the sand. All aluminum, guys, so it's super lightweight. With the open face sand spikes, there are a few issues that you can run into, especially if I have like a strong south wind. I fish the Gulf of Mexico, so south for me is blowing from the water straight in my face. So sometimes, like if you're baiting your hook or something, you kind of walk away from it, that south wind will catch it and it'll blow it out. Or if you have a bigger fish that hits your rod but doesn't commit or doesn't fully get hooked, what can happen is it can slingshot your rod back out. So obviously this was a concern for me because I don't want my rods and reels going in the sand. So I asked Brian if he could make the butt holder a little bit deeper. And he did. He came through, guys. So when that does happen, when I have the south wind maybe blow my rod out, it stops because of this butt holder is deep. Why do I like the open face sand spikes? Because it's an easy grab. Instead of lifting up like you do with the traditional fully closed sand spike, having to lift that guy up and then bring it back down, with this guy, it's just a quick pull. I can get tension on that fish a lot quicker. I also keep a couple of the tubular sand spikes by Deerfield. These are fully closed, and this is what I will use when I'm targeting big fish. Really drum, like red drum, black drum. When I'm out there specifically targeting those fish, I will use the closed sand spike just because of that slingshot factor. So I keep 2 of these on board. So if you book a guide with me, you can check out both these. You can check out the open face sand spikes and the closed face by Deerfield. And guys, Deerfield has taken over the market with aluminum. The beach carts, the sand spikes, all that stuff, Brian Sorrell is the guy you want. Really, I can't think of any other company that competes with Brian and his quality. Rods and reels. For pompano fishing, you will have your hands on the 11-foot Ninja daggers. I have 2 traditional 11-foot Ninja daggers, and I have 1 Frisky Fin custom that's on an 11-foot Ninja dagger blank. Ninja is absolutely huge in the surf fishing world. I can safely say that Ninja has probably got the market with surf fishing rods. If you don't own a Ninja, you know Ninja and you want a Ninja. I keep my 2 traditional 11-foots paired with the LKO gear, Lost Key Outdoors Saltwater Series reels 4000. These are great reels, guys, at a great price. I would put them in the bracket of like maybe the Penn Battles. They're a lot lighter though, and the price point is cheaper. So 2 identical setups, 11-foot Ninja dagger with the 4000 series LKO gear reels. My other 11-foot is the Frisky Fins custom, again on the Ninja dagger blank. Frisky is well known for his craftsmanship with building rods, guys. I think James has been building rods for about 15 years, not professionally. I think probably in the last 3 years he kind of went public with it. So he has a lot of time behind that table building these rods, guys. And they're an absolutely work of art. Every time I get one, like I don't even want to use it. It's one like hanging on the wall. And I call this my long rod. Even though it's an 11-footer and it's on the Ninja dagger blank, the way James has got this set up is it casts further than the traditional 11-foot daggers. So I'm running 3 11-foots for pompano basically, but the custom Frisky Fins will cast further. So this is like basically my deep rod. When I want to get that longest cast possible, I'll use this. So if you're in the market thinking about maybe getting a custom rod built, offshore, inshore, surf fishing, whatever, James can do it all, you will have your hands on a Frisky Fins custom. The 10-foot bummy stick powered by Ninja Tackle. This is a great rod, guys, for walking the beach and casting metal for big fish. This style of fishing has really started to intrigue me. I really got into it this past summer, and I wanted to catch a jack from the beach. Like, that was my goal, and it happened. If you've not seen that video, you got to go back and check it out. I'll link it in the description here. Awesome day. But with this 10-foot bummy stick, you are able to get distance out there to reach these guys. It holds up to a 6-ounce lure weight. So really, man, like 4 to 5 ounce lure, a big old heavy lure, this thing will sling it. I have it paired with a high-speed Penn Battle 3. So again, another Ninja product that you will have your hands on if you're interested in casting metal from the beach. The 8'6" Ninja dagger you will have your hands on also. This is basically my whiting setup right now. I have a Frisky Fins little whiting rig tied on it. I'll use this because it's super soft, super light action on the tip. So a whiting is, you know, relatively a smaller fish. If you catch a 15-inch whiting, that's a pretty big whiting. But they're known for their fight. So when I'm targeting them, instead of targeting them on like the bigger 11-foot setups, I'll use the 8'6" because it's just a funner fight bringing them in. This is also a great setup for casting for the beach, like I'm targeting like, let's say, Spanish and bluefish. Certain times of the year in my area, when we have a nice north wind, it'll lay the Gulf of Mexico flat and you can see those guys popping out there. I'll tie on like an ounce and a half lure, sling that guy out there and fight them in on the 8'6". And then last, with the surf fishing setup, you will have your hands on a 12-foot Frisky Fins custom, but again, this is on a 12-foot Ninja dagger blank. This is what I'm targeting the big boys with, y'all. The big drum, the big jacks. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds with this. You're getting that Ninja dagger feel, and you can see the craftsmanship of Frisky Fins custom work. So I think it's good for you as a customer to know, like, hey, I book a guy with Blaine, I am gonna get really the Ninja dagger lineup. So you can get your hands on that whole lineup and really dig into it and feel and say, hey, this is the rod for me, or hey, this is not the rod for me. I have every possible color and flavor of fish bites that you could ever imagine. It's one of the benefits of being pro staff with them. I will catch 90% of my fish, guys, on fish bites alone, and there is video evidence to prove that. So if you've ever been like unsure about fish bites or unsure about artificial bait in the surf, I have them all. We will be using them and I will prove them right. I'm 100% a Frisky Fins user. And I was well before I even started working with them, way before content creation was even a thought in my mind or running guides. I just always used Frisky Fins. It was always on the shelf. It was always there. It seemed to work. So we'll be using his original rig, which is just the 2 floats, the beads. We'll be using his original rattle rig, which again is the 2 floats and the 2 beads, but the floats have rattles in them. Great concept. Can't believe nobody has thought of that before. And then James and I did partner and we created my own rig. So we will have the Perdido Blaine edition rig out there, which is the float on top and the 3 beads on the bottom. And then of course, the little whiting rig. I love these guys. They're super light, super small hooks. Whiting seem to love them. Let's move into the kayak guides. What we will be floating on, guys, are the Old Town Sportsman 106 PDLs. I have 2 of these. They're just different colors. There's the other one right over there. So if I have a 2-man guide, my 2 clients will be in both of these Sportsmans, and I usually will take that little Discovery canoe over there. And if I'm only taking 1 client, obviously I will take the other PDL. These are a hands-free fishing kayak, guys, meaning that this is how you power it with a pedal drive here. That's how you're moving. And there's no levers or anything like that to switch back and forth, like forward to reverse. You're pedaling forward, you want to go back, you just start pedaling back. Super easy, efficient kayak to use, guys. These are 10 foot long and about 37 inches wide, so they're a super sturdy kayak. I've tried to flip these things and I can't. You have to be in some super rough conditions for this guy to flip, and really I wouldn't have you out there if it was. Very safe kayak for my clients. A lot of my clients, this is their first time kayak fishing. I definitely do not want to put them in anything that's unstable or where they're going to have a bad time. You know, this is a super easy, again, very efficient kayak to use. I use these in my personal fishing. I have for years, and basically when I started up in my guide game, I just bought a second one. The rod and reel setups that you will be using on the kayak guides are the same rod and reel setups I use in personal fishing. One will be the 7'6" Akuma Fish Bite Series rod. This is basically like my trout rods, guys. Twitch baits, things like that. Super light action, super light tip. And with a 7'6", I have them paired with a 2500 LKO gear reel. So you'll have one 7'6" on board. Basically, like I said, this is like the trout setup. Then you'll have the 7-foot Akuma Fish Bite Series rod. It's a little bit beefier. This is what I'm using paddle tails for. Basically, this is what I target reds with. I'll keep a 3000 series LKO reel on this one just because I'm targeting bigger fish with this. And again, I want that extra line for when they start pulling drag. And I'll also put you a 7-foot dagger on board. This is my all-arounder, guys. You can do anything with this. I'll troll with this, drop down for sheep's head with this. It's a stiffer rod, so it can handle pulling those guys up out the bottom. Cast in big top waters. So you'll have an item from the dagger lineup on the kayak guide also. Every setup I've gone over has true braid on it. There's a lot of different braid out there, guys. It gets confusing. You walk into the tackle shop and there's a sea of braid on the wall. Price points are different. Why is that one so much cheaper? Is it gonna break? Is it gonna last? Why is that one so expensive? What does it have that the other ones don't? I found True Braid about a year ago. The price point was so excellent, I didn't trust it. I bought a spool of it and I spooled one reel with it. So at that point, I was running Power Pro Super Slick. Great braid, super expensive though, and I saw that it faded quickly. It wouldn't be long after I had it and the color was all faded, which is not a big deal, but I want my gear to look good on my guides, y'all. Found True Braid, got a spool, spooled a reel, so I was running like one True Braid reel and the rest were the Super Slick. And as you can imagine, it felt different, you know? So I would cast with the Super Slick and then I would cast with the True Braid and it felt different. I was like, but it was holding up. It was holding up. It wasn't breaking off. It wasn't fading. So what I did, I just invested. So I invested and I spooled every reel I had with True Braid to give it like the true test. And I've never looked back, guys. So True Braid will be on your finger on every one of these reels. So if you book a guide with me, you will be able to see like the true braid factor. And this is a big deal, guys, because braid's expensive. And to find a good quality braid at a good price point is hard. But True Braid has nailed it. I back these guys 100%. With the kayak fishing guides, I am probably 95% artificial. I will use fiddler crabs here and there and cut bait. This is another great opportunity while booking a guide with me to try out some different artificials. Knock and Tail has been one of my go-tos forever for paddle tails. They have the big 5-inchers, they have the traditional 4-inchers, and then they have the 3 1/4. And the thing that sets these guys apart is there's a built-in rattle in the tail, in the mold of the tail. So as you're working that thing, it's rattling. Kind of goes back to the rattle rig with Frisky. Noise attracts things, just makes sense. And Knock and Tail has just a sea of different colors. If you go to their website, you will see I have it linked in the description of this video, but Michael is the owner of Knock and Tail, and he just, color after color, he keeps coming up with. If you want it, he's got it. When I want something with a little flair on it, I'll use the Southern Salt Bait Company paddle tails. Again, these have no scent, anything like that. Let me open one up and show you what I'm talking about when I say flair. So instead of that traditional paddle tail, it's just got this crazy looking tail on the back of it. And super limp, like that's what you want. You want that super limp, a lot of action with these guys. And you'll be surprised just switching things up like that. So you got that traditional paddle tail, you're not getting bites. You throw some flair down there and they're all over it. Or vice versa. And then when I am wanting to put some scent in the water, the Fish Bites Fight Clubs is what we will be using. They have the curly tails, jerkbait style, paddle bait style. They also have a shrimp. So when sound or flair is not attracting a bite, I will put scent in the water. Jig heads is another one, guys. Like, what jig heads do I pick? Again, so many in the tackle shop. I am a C&B custom jig head user. These are absolutely phenomenal jig heads, guys. Look at those huge 3D eyes on them. They have a bunch of different styles. I'll use this style here with the barbs on it when I'm using those Fight Clubs because they are a softer bait. So a lot of times, like pinfish and things like that, especially with that curly tail, they'll grab it and it'll pull off your traditional jig head. But with those barbs on there, it ain't going anywhere. And I only use 3 styles. You know, the one with the barb, this little manic mullet here guy, looks like a little fish head, and then the round fish head. Those are the 3 I use, but Chuck, the owner and operator of C&B, he has so many guys. You guys got to check out that website. Again, it is linked in the description of this video. And I'll offer another opportunity for you to try before you buy kind of thing. You need to ask me like in advance for this because I don't bring these every trip. But if you are in the market for some fishing sunglasses, and sunglasses are hard, I know you want to try them on and see what they look like. There's so many different lenses and frames out there. You can ask me, and at this point, I think I have every frame and every lens color Ocean Waves has to offer at my house. They're not mine, so don't ask me for them. They're for marketing purposes, but I can bring those along. So if you're interested in like maybe getting some good quality fishing sunglasses, you just don't know if the frame's gonna fit your head or what lens color you want, ask me and I can bring these so you can try them on. And I'd also give you a discount code at that point to save you some money on your purchase. So in my general area, Perdido Key, Orange Beach, Alabama, or Pensacola, there's not that many surf guides. And I don't know of any kayak fishing guides in Perdido Key other than myself. I believe you'll have some more kayak guides like in the Pensacola area and maybe like in Gulf Shores, Fort Morgan, Alabama, things like that. And as far as surf fishing guides, there's a few of us that have legitimate businesses. There are surf fishing guides that tend to pop up like when season's here. So the Pompano run comes through and all of a sudden there's surf fishing guides everywhere. I'm not saying these guys don't know what they're doing, but they really don't have anything to lose if they give you a bad guide. Basically, these guys are just trying to take advantage of the Pompano being here. It's a quick side hustle for them. And then once the fish stop biting, they're done. Guys like me and Jordan from G2 Coastal, we run guides, surf fishing guides year round. And we have legitimate businesses. I highly recommend Jordan also. Jordan takes care of Orange Beach and the Gulf Shores area. But I can honestly say, I don't think you will find another guide in the area that's running the equipment that I'm running. I want you to leave my guides with a better understanding of gear, basically. Like, this is good quality gear. This is what it feels like. This is what it casts like. This is how it performs. My goal of these guides, I want us to have fun, I want us to catch fish, but I also want to put some good quality gear in your hands so you get to actually feel what we do every day. Know what we're using, know that it works. Know that like the companies that I'm promoting, it's just not all noise. I am using this stuff and I am catching fish with this stuff. So by booking a guide with me, kayak or surf, you are gonna use quality gear. I also offer surf fishing lessons in my area if you're interested in that. And I also do overnight kayak camping excursions. Basically, we'd be 36 hours on the water, primitive style camping, catch, clean, and cook. That's it, guys. I hope this video was helpful, showing what us, you know, quote unquote professionals are using out here. And I wanted you to know, like, I'm not hiding the good stuff in the garage. All this stuff is what I use with personal fishing, and it's the same stuff that you will be using if you book a guide with me. All my information is in the description of this video, my website. So if you are interested in a guide or just want to go and check out pricing and things like that, go check it out, contact me, and we can set something up. But right now, it's about to rain. I got to get out of here. Till next time, fishing buddies.